What's happening, my nigga?
Oh, God, you're back.
That's right, fool, I'm back!
So, how was your trip to Florida?
Dude, it's Florida. It's hot and humid as Satan's armpits down there, so I stayed inside most of the time and did all I could to avoid eye contact with the homeless.
Yeah, love that neighbor and all that shit.
Yeah. I also got to see my brother.
Oh, cool. Has he shanked anyone yet?
Only the pendejos that deserved it.
Well, that's to be expected.
What about you, man? What'd you do while I was gone?
Oh, you know, nothing much. Just threw a little get-together.
Okay.
Don't worry, I got my usual cleanup crew to tidy things up before you got here.
That explains the lack of blood and, other bodily fluids.
No judging.
At least the FBI didn't show up this time.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, how old are you again?
Technically, I'm 106.
I've had older.
But physically, I'm 11 years old.
Shit.
FBI, open up! So that's why there's a new front door.
Don't worry, I called Saul and he says them pigs ain't got nothing on me. Cause I'm a possessed Cinco de Mayo skull and thus technically I can't be prosecuted.
So, we're good?
Yeah, bro, we're cool. You can start recording anytime.
Nah, I got all summer to do that.
Don't put it off.
I'm not. I just want to enjoy myself a little and rest. Don't worry. I've got time. I'll do it later.
Tomorrow.
I've got time. I'll do it later.
Tomorrow for sure.
I got time. I'll do it later.
Day 4.
I've got time. I'll do it later.
3 weeks later.
I got time. I'll do it later.
Many months later.
I got time. I'll do it later.
2,000 years later.
I'll do it later.
Hey, idiot! You got a week before you gotta post your first video.
Ah, man. I've got time. After all, it's only the beginning of July.
No it's not.
Oh. Oh my god, Lacano, what are we gonna do? I only got a week left to make a video. God, this is a catastrophe.
Calm down, you moron. It's gonna be fine.
No, it's not, man. Think about my fans. Think about my viewers.
Yeah, all 3 and 90 of them, respectively.
They still take the time to watch them. Besides, I want to make good and entertaining content. How am I supposed to do that with only a week left?
Dude, chill. It's going to be okay. It's not solely how much time you spend on it, man. It's the amount of heart and spirit you put in it. The reasons you do it. Not for the fans or fortune or because you want to be mean. You do it like many before you. Because you love the shows and the stories they bring. And you wish to share that joy with others. And you criticize not because you hate it or you want to ruin the show, but because you want the creators, all creators, to learn from this and in doing so, bring forth better stories to inspire us.
Wow, Lacano. I didn't know that's what you thought.
I don't. I'm just reading from your pussy-footed script. I still think you're a piece of shit, and I hate you for using my robo-waifu as a running joke.
Thank you for ruining the suspension of disbelief. Want to get the video started?
After you, bitch boy.
Alright, let's do this. Hello Internet, so how have you guys been doing? Welcome back to some more anime reviews. I'm your host Ricardo, the Cynical Critic. With me, no movie sacred, no video safe, but all deserve a chance. And about like 6 years ago, I gave a show a chance to prove to me that it was more than just some anime fanboy's wet dream to have his own series. And that show was... The Legend of Korra. God, was it awful. But about a year later, RWBY from Roosterteeth aired, and hey, it wasn't half bad.
Well, yeah. It's created by Marion. Everything that man touched turned to gold.
beginning its life on the internet as trailers for a web series that was initially called a Western animation, then an American anime, before finally being granted the label of just anime when people realized that anime is technically more of an art style than a genre, and it shouldn't matter where it's made or if it's 2D or 3D, so long as it follows in part that particular style. Because, you know, it's not like a shit ton of anime isn't even made in Japan.
The same can be said about hentai.
But whether or not you consider it an anime, the thing that many can't deny is that considering where it's come from and what little it started as, it's grown far beyond a simple web series. This is due in part because Roosterteeth did have a following to begin with, and it technically is the first of its kind, but also because, as I said, the show isn't bad. In fact, most will willingly admit that it's pretty damn good. True, the story is nothing to write home about, but the two things that set this show apart from others is its characters, which have become deeply loved by the fans, and the fights that can easily beat out most other animes. The former is thanks to Roosterteeth's stellar ability to write and cast great characters, and the latter is all Monty, as many who have seen his Haloid and Dead Fantasy series will know.
Or those that have seen the hentai he's directed will know. Search my internet, doves.
Sadly though, on January 22nd, 2015, Monty Ohm suffered a severe allergic reaction, fell into a coma, and 11 days later, passed on from this life. This left RWBY in limbo as many were unsure if the show would be continued with Monty gone. Would Roosterteeth be able to handle this responsibility? Would they be able to keep to his vision? Would the fans accept upcoming volumes without its creator? And would Monty's family even allow it to continue without him here?
Thankfully, to the relief of all, Roosterteeth have set themselves the task of carrying on RWBY, to seeing their friend's dream come true, and have even hired Monty's own brother, Neith Ohm, to voice Lyren in his absence. For Monty, for the fans, for the story and characters that so many love, RWBY would be continued, and its tale seen to the end.
That good feeling you guys are experiencing right now? Yeah, this idiot's about to say fuck that feeling.
However, despite my joy to hear this, I do have some concerns.
Told ya.
RWBY has become a valuable show and arguably one of the main moneymakers for Roosterteeth's animation department. It's no surprise that they wouldn't want to lose that and have done all they can to expand its reach ever since. And it's not likely to be the same without Monty, and I'm not just talking about the fight sequences. Even though it's rumored that he had up to season 8 planned out, without his guidance, it's unknown whether or not Carrie and Miles will be up to the task of keeping to his vision. With the creator gone, what will become of his creation?
Well, despite my general cynical nature, I do think that you should give things a chance to prove you're wrong. And so far, Roosterteeth have done what they could to be for the fans. Copyright claims notwithstanding. So while our concerns should not be overlooked, we should give them the benefit of the doubt that they will do this show justice. And before we see if they do just that, let's have a little recap on what's happened so far.
So, what story there is so far takes place in the world of Remnant, where mankind and elf-kind substitute known as Faunus are under constant threat of extermination from creatures of darkness, known as Grimm. To combat this threat, mankind uses both an elementally charged mineral called dust to power their weapons and superhero-like beings called huntsmen. Some of these X-Men ripoffs are our characters: Ruby Rose, Weiss Schnee, Blake Belladonna, and Yang Jialong, who together make up the team RWBY of Beacon Academy. And in the past 2 semesters, these sorority sisters have gotten themselves into all sorts of trouble, from battling conmen, to having to put up with the occasional dolt, to dealing with interpersonal issues about their past allegiances, to having to fight against those past allegiances, to battling Metal Gears on the highway, to getting caught up in an international conspiracy, and to having to deal with the worst evil of all: shippers.
As a shipper myself, yes, we are the evil that you should fear.
In Volume 1, we saw the girls put their differences aside to become better friends and a better team, and while doing so, discover the sinister Roman Torchwick, planning on using the misguided Faunus group, the White Fang. As for what? Well, this is Roosterteeth. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing. And it doesn't get much better, because the next volume is mostly spent with the characters trying and failing to figure out what the plot is of this show. But hey, they at least had a good food fight, realized that Konami might be suing them soon, participated in a character developing ball, went on a little camping trip, and stopped a grim invasion of Grimm. And all the while, our villains, the main one being Cinder Falls, have done little except scheme in the background as Roman is forced to do all the work even though it's his weekend with the kid. And I won't speak about the last scene of the volume or the end credit clip because both were as confusing as they were worthless.
Now let's see if things get better with Volume 3. Lakanon, roll the clip!
Here we go again.
So we begin the volume at sunset. Or, considering that it's RWBY standing on the cliff, it could be sunrise as she's been known to wake up obnoxiously early.
Hey, Mom.
so that was a gravestone in the red trailer. Good to see that it took them 2 volumes to even reconnect to that idea.
On top of things and punctual as ever. Hey, Roosterteeth.
Anyways, yeah, Ruby is at her mother's grave where she tells Summer that her daughter and husband have come to visit, that Ruby's father, Tai Yang, is planning to go on missions again, and that the team that she's on at Beacon is called Team RWBY.
And yes, before you ask, that does cause a lot of confusion.
You can meta that joke all you want, Roosterteeth. Doesn't make it any less stupid.
That was Monty's decision, asshole.
She then explains that she's made some friends as well as fought some baddies, saying that like mother, like daughter, as she confesses her confusion on her early acceptance to Beacon from husband and how he reminds her of her Uncle Crow. A bark from behind reveals the return of her dog Zwei, and the cardboard cutout that she calls the father. I guess he still hasn't gotten over being dumped by 2 beautiful women.
Yeah, talk about role reversal. Usually it's the gal that has to complain about child support.
I gotta go. He's dropping me off at Beacon for the tournament match before he goes on his next mission. Wish me luck! It was good to talk.
Well, that's fucking depressing. Yeah, for any of those who don't know, that's supposed to represent Monty's signature.
Your dream lives on, Monty. Your dream lives on.
We then cut to a Coliseum where we see Team RWBY of Beacon engaging in battle with Team Auburn of Haven. Jeez, talk about a tonal shift.
Ho-ho! It seems we have another astonishing bout ahead of us. Wouldn't you agree, Professor? Doctor?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
For those of you just now joining us,
Yeah, because it's not like a worldwide tournament like this. Wouldn't it be pretty much known by everybody who isn't living under a rock?
Anyway, so yeah, it's hate time with Heyman and Haywood, as they explain the rules for the Tri-Wizard Tournament. Pretty much, it will be Team v Teams, whose winners will elect 2 teammates for the 2v2s, followed by those winners electing a teammate for the 1v1s, whose victor will jump immediately to the finals. As for everyone else, they will have to fight in standard single fights for their place. Confused? Don't worry, you nerd. No one gives 2 shits about the rules, because A, they're not going to be important, and B, we're here to see our characters kick some ass. So come on, let's get back to the fight!
And yes, Peter, these certainly are some spectacular spectacles on which to spectate on. And I don't think anyone tuning in around the world is going to disagree with me on that.
Yeah, because they're all just 2D models.
Aw, is Roosterteeth's little animation department getting overworked again?
So yeah, once again, lovely animation, awesome action, sweet asses, possible Rooster Teeth copyrighted claim, review not reaction, but I don't want to just skip this scene, so I gotta do something about it, which means I gotta do another voiceover.
Oh, God. Please tell me you're not going to try and sin the action again. I thought the viewers floored your complaints last time. Anime does not abide by your pathetic rules, mortal.
No, don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna make that a thing.
Thank black baby Jesus.
Instead, I'm gonna provide the running commentary that's absent in this fight.
Help me, internet! Stop him before!
Back to the fight, we see Skateboard Kid launch another attack on Blake, but she parries it. Oh no, double parry, triple parry! Rebel without a cause goes in for another strike, but Blake cuts her opponent too, but it was blasters all along! Ooh, and she lands on her hot ass, causing concern in the lesbian. Yang laying a smackdown on the lion fist, but she gets roundhouse across the field! Oh, by a sucker punch! Ouchie, you better be careful with my waifu, you bitch! Sorry, gay boy, no fighting for you.
Got your back!
Who's got yours?
And that's why you gotta watch our back, folks.
My BFF! No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No.
Save the couple squirrel for later, ladies. We've got a crowd that's not entertained. Sniper to the face! Luckily, we're using safety bullets, as well as safety porty things. Uh-oh, looks like Journey's making his way west with the ease of somebody passing through a slightly crowded cafeteria. Journey tosses the dildo to the skateboard kid. I sense dirty tactics afoot. Aha! Lesbian detected! Ooh, looks like things are heating up as she returns back to deal with the Black Panther. But once again, Blake runs away. The scaredy cat.
double whammy! Reese Course is eliminated by ring out and aura level.
Oh, she really should have worn a helmet.
Hey, you two haven't been speaking the entire fight. Leave the jokes to me. It's a cold touch from the Ice Queen. And the boys are sent rolling. But it looks like the Lion Fist sees her teammates and is coming in for the rescue. Now that's putting your name literally. Oh my, folks, I think this we're about to witness the famous Bumblebee move, the round the world roundhouse. Oh, and it's over, folks. It's over in one glorious punch. It's over. Woo, baby, a triple.
Whew. That wasn't too hard.
If you ever embarrass me like that again, I'll...
You what? Seriously, you what? This is not gonna change, man. That's the deal we made. I get to make whatever lame jokes I want. You get to still have internet rights.
I'm beginning to think boobs aren't worth this.
Alright, then let's continue.
But just so you know, the conditions were that I simply can't kill or severely injure you.
Yeah, so?
Just that you'll be surprised with what you can live through.
I'm not gonna think about that.
Good. Live in fear.
Okay, so... Anyways, the girls won.
Team RWBY is victorious.
We did it? We did it!
And cue comedic moment.
Is anyone else starving?
I may have worked up an appetite.
Yang, you're not feeding your Blanky Boo enough. You realize that can be considered animal cruelty, right?
Well, the girls decide, as they are at a fair, they should get something to eat. Weiss hesitates as she receives a call from Father that she immediately ignores.
Stubborn girl.
Then suddenly Emerald shows up, holding a clearly nicked Ruby wallet. Go to Roosterteeth.com and get yours today. The five exchange pleasantries in such an overly positive and squealy way you'd think it was a chick flick, when Weiss decides to bring up a pretty good point.
I feel like we never see our other teammates.
Well, you see, that's because one of them's an asshole, the other's the main villain, so by Rooster Teeth logic, she can only have a few seconds of screen time, and the third is... Neo!
Sweetie, what are you doing here? I mean, seriously, your dad's locked up in jail for what, 2 minutes, and you're already hooking up with this crowd? Does Mommy Rocky Road know about this?
I would pay good money to watch those two ice creams melt and mix together.
That's great. Why don't we all go out and get some victory food together?
Oh, gosh, that's so nice of you, but my teammates are all kind of introverted.
That guy sniffed a lot of chemicals when he was a kid, didn't he? Guess that's why they call him Mercury.
Anyways, Ruby then explains that their pairs for the doubles rounds was, as Weiss insisted, cause, you know, she's the voice of reason, put to a vote. And it was decided that Yang and Weiss would represent the team. I guess Rooster Teeth heard my pleads and is trying to prevent any further growth of the Bumblebee and White Rose cancers.
Alright, well, we're gonna go catch some more fights.
Have fun!
See you later!
So how are the new friends?
I hate them.
Don't be jelly, Emerald, just because you weren't voted best girl.
How can they be so happy all the time?
Did you at least get what we want?
It's the heiress and the bimbo.
Hey, don't you call my waifu bimbo, slut!
Alright. At least now we know who we're working with.
We then cut back to the group ordering some food, and sweet super-sized ramen!
What is wrong with anime and having their characters eat like they're fucking pygmy shrews? I mean, seriously, that bowl is as big as Ruby!
And of course, Blake gets...
Get it? Because she's a pescatarian.
Isn't that like pseudo-vegetarianism?
Ah, fish don't have souls, so they're not real meat. Finding Nemo lied to me!
And since Weiss is the rich bitch, she opts to pay for the meal, only to find out that her card is declined. Probably should check your messages, because I'm pretty sure Father was trying to tell you something.
Hello, Weiss. This is Father. Sweetie, I just got robbed. Some blonde-haired pipsqueak with a scythe and his black older brother jumped me and took all my wallets. I just canceled the credit cards, but don't worry. I ordered a new one for you and it should be coming in the mail soon. I hope you and your girlfriend are doing well. Love you.
Oh, no! Maybe I could help? Aw, you don't have to. But she could.
Jeez! Chill out, girlfriend!
I keep telling you that she likes fish more than corn dogs.
Shut up, Lakanan.
So yeah, Team Juniper shows up and they all enjoy a hearty, high-sodium meal. But something's not right. Something's missing.
Ah, that cheap gross-out humor. That was awkward. Felt a little naked without it.
RWBY then asks them if they think they're ready. Nora reminds them that they have a super soldier Spartan, a ninja, enough said, a yandere with superhuman strength, awesome weapons, amazing skills, and, John.
Are you gonna take that?
She's not wrong.
No, she's not, you loser.
So nervous. The worst that could happen is we lose. Then it's just a few more years of walking around school with everyone knowing we're failures. Our friends will slowly abandon us to preserve their social status. We won't be able to show our faces in class. No one will sit with us in the cafeteria. Ren and I have no parents, so we have no home left to go to. We'll be officially renamed Team Lucifer.
So yeah, we're feeling pretty good.
Well, yeah, I mean, the worst thing that happened is that you're called Team Lucifer. Which is kind of awesome, because you can easily turn that around into Team Lucifer, as in Team Devil.
Hey, I know him.
What?
Yeah, the Devil. He's a good friend of mine.
Somehow, that's not surprising.
Yeah, but we're not on speaking terms right now. For some reason, he thinks I go a little too far with my obsession. There is nothing wrong with loving lollies.
Yes, there is, on so many levels. But anyways...
Vera then tries to cheer her friends up.
Don't fret. If anything, we should be looking forward to a fight with actual guidelines and not, well, murderers.
None of y'all win those fights. I mean, you did help with the Grim in the last episode, but those are monsters, not murderers. There is a difference.
Team Juniper, please report to the battlegrounds immediately.
Yes, like they were scheduled to several minutes ago.
Well, with that announcement, Team Juniper heads for the ring as Team RWBY finds his seat. But also in the crowd is Emerald and Mercury.
I wonder who's gonna win.
As if we didn't already know.
Emerald, he does have a point. You can't rig these kind of fights. I mean, they do have Pyrrha, Ren, and Nor, but they also have John. Let's not forget that.
Oh, come now. Even if you know how a story ends, that doesn't make it any less fun to watch.
Yeah, but unless your cinema wins, no one gives a shit about positive critics. Or neutral assholes like you.
Team Juniper of Beacon versus Team Bronze of Shade.
Ah, crap. Listen, I know you guys are trying to make RWBY more Japanese friendly, but did you have to go and make it a JRPG? Look, I don't care what you guys are about to say. When you throw randomization into a fight like this, it just makes it annoying and boring. Oh. Okay, apparently those things are just used to determine the terrain of the battlefield. Old Pokemon Stadium style.
I still stand by what I said about JRPGs being stupid.
Anyways, the two teams face off, and I can immediately tell what's going to happen next. The music's going to swell, they're going to jump towards each other, freeze frame, and then cut to Blake.
Called it!
And now, like with the previous two, we get the intro at the end. And it's quite beautiful. Oh, shit! Yeah, for some reason Roosterteeth went with some sort of scream over the intro music. And just when I thought that there wasn't a song worse than Caffeine.
Well, Do You Want to Build a Snowman is definitely up there.
And there it is, the first episode of RWBY Volume 3. And wow, that was actually pretty good. It's almost like Monty's death didn't really matter.
Insolent bastard! You shall suffer for those words of heresy!
It was a joke, you perverted lunatic!
Oh yeah, Comedy Channel.
Why do you have a gun? How did you get a gun?
Second Amendment, you whiny bitch.
Second my ass! It doesn't give you the right to shoot me!
I barely grazed you, you big baby.
It still hurts! Don't ever do that again!
I promise nothing, heretic.
Anyways.
Yes, it looks like Monty's passing didn't alter RWBY's style, character, or story. Which is a compliment. It means that Roosterteeth seems to be able to handle continuing the story without Monty's guidance, which was a main concern of many. That's not to say that everything is going to remain unchanged, as if his death had no effect whatsoever on the show or his friends. It was, in a near literal way, Monty's dream, and though he left behind some notes for further volumes, as a creator myself, I know we hold back a good deal and keep a lot of it in our own minds, so his friends can only guess to how to play things out from here onward. And so far, for the first episode at least, it appears that they've been able to stand up to their responsibility, as the character personalities are still the same, the plot is still vague as ever, and the fight was still fun to watch. However, as I said, not everything will be alright, and the fights will likely take the biggest hit. Monty just had a natural talent to not only choreograph the character movements, but in crafting a very entertaining and impactful scene. With him gone, finding somebody to take up that mantle isn't going to be easy.
We are still talking about the same Monty Ohm, because apart from cloning or resurrection, both options I'm still looking into, you are not going to find another like that genius.
Not to say that the fight was bad in any important way, but it was missing that stylized fluidity that it had before. Back in Volume 1 and 2, there was a smooth, dynamic feel to not only the movement of the characters, but also to the camera. It helped everything flow so much better, leaving an impact on our memories that many more well-known anime struggle to achieve.
This does not bode well for the show, as it was one of the few things that set it apart from others, and one of the very few things that many, unfortunate for them, had come to the show to see.
And as time goes on, we usually expect things to always improve, or at least remain as good as they currently are. But if the fights are becoming even just a little less than what we were used to with Monty, then you can be sure that the fans will harp on that as much as I've harped on the plot.
However, I'm not the kind of guy that solely looks at the bad and gets my conclusion from it.
Yes, you are.
Cause as I already said, this episode was pretty good, and one of the things that actually did better than the previous two premieres were the subtle slips of world building.
Kinda like the subtle slips of cleavage, but just not as fun. Talk about cleavage? Check.
We've gotten quite a few throughout the volumes, but in this episode there were some that were really good that you might not have noticed.
The first thing that I'd like to touch on is the stadium itself. Whether or not it be anti-grav generators, some sort of propulsion system, or quantumly locking the thing in place, BioShock infinitely disappointing ending style, it still shows that their technology has reached a point in which the question can be asked. Do they have a space program? I know it's just a sci-fi fantasy world, but sci-fi is part of it, and don't tell me it wouldn't be cool to see them fight Grim in space! While nothing has shown us that they have achieved space travel, it is a nice thought experiment and does open the doors for some interesting fanfic.
Oh yeah, I can imagine my girls in Ripley attire already.
But that's just a thought that may or may not be. What isn't, as it's had enough foreshadowing, you would have thought your mama had eclipsed the sun again, were the clear, ominous signs that Cinder has her plans entangled in the Final Festival tournament.
We are given some hints here and there that they may have found a way to rig these fights. How and to what extent, we still have no clue, which I'll remind you, Roosterteeth, is not a good sign, especially since we're in the third volume and for some reason, enough focus is still not on our villains.
Well, my focus was definitely on her. Not Negri's best design, in my opinion, but I've worked with less.
Well, maybe because that attention went to two other characters that have more or less gone underdeveloped. Yet we really didn't need it for them because they were just side characters, but like an STD, we got it, so might as well talk about it.
Ren and Nora are really nice characters because they fall into that interesting category of not needing to know more about them, but still enjoying every moment they take stage. But in Nora's panic attack, she lets slip something that makes you do a double take.
Oh yeah.
They might lose, they'll be known as failures, they'll be unfriended from Base Scroll, they'll be shunned, Ren and Nora have no parents, they'll then be called Team Deputy. What? Ren and Nora are orphans? Yeah, kinda like a redheaded stepchild, kinda pushed past that. It seems to be a pattern here. First with RWBY, then with Yang, now with Nora and Ren, who I might add, now has more lines in this one episode than Monty had in 2 seasons. Already glad you got rid of them, eh guys? But yeah, each time we learn a little bit and then continue on like nothing happened. It's an interesting storytelling method, so it's not bad per se, as we don't need to know this. Well, except in our first case with RWBY. Seriously, husband, how many kids have you taken by now, you sick bastard? But that little bit of information adds a rather interesting, complex backstory to these two, and an intriguing insight into their relationship.
Now I'd like to end this review with what we saw at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, it took them long enough to not only give us a definitive answer on RWBY and Yang's family ties, but to also finally explain what we saw in the very first trailer. And I'm not gonna lie or ease into it. This scene was beautiful and a perfect way to start Volume 3. I'll get to the latter part in a sec, because first I'd like to speak about RWBY for a moment. A lot of people, me included, just check out my bottom 5 character list, didn't think that RWBY was a good main protagonist as she just didn't get enough to do or say. However, the reason I never hated having her or thought that she was completely bad is summed up nicely in this scene. RWBY is a young kid, and unlike in other stories, things are happening around her, not yet to her. It's an interesting twist to the usual protagonist deal, where everything seems to happen to them. But with RWBY, she's a sideliner that's just trying to help people. She helps Jean to stand up for himself, who in turn helps his team. She helps Bois to open up and calm down, who in turn helps Blake rely on her friends. And she's clearly been there for Yang, who deeply loves her little red-hooded half-sister.
Yes, strengthen my fantasies.
This scene highlighted that, as RWBY is again just a kid who truly doesn't know what the future may hold. But that isn't going to stop her from becoming a huntress, or from helping as many people as she can. Just like the heroes of old, just like her mother. So yes, I'll repeat it, this scene was a perfect way to open Volume 3. A soft opening that not only grew RWBY's character, not only developed her history, and not only gave us a nice foreshadowing disguised as a personal dialogue, but also told all of us who were on the edge of our seats, it's all gonna be alright.
RWBY is still here, its story is still being told, and they're going to do all they can to bring you the characters that you love and have them around for a long time. They're not going anywhere, and neither is RWBY.
It was a wonderful way to share in the loss that the fans had experienced, and to also comfort and reassure them. RWBY will never be the same again, that's true. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be worse. Just that, like any good story, things will change, evolve, and grow. For growing and changing is part of life. Money will surely be missed and never forgotten, but his friends are going to see that his story, his characters, his dream is seen to the very end.
Who knows what the future may hold for those two, but I think Monty's soul can rest easy. His friends have got this. I hope. I mean, it is the first episode, so anything can happen.
There's that cynical side that pisses me off.
Suppose we just have to wait and see how it turns out. Yeah, sorry about the short end of this review, guys, but it's the first episode. What really is there to talk about?
A sweet, heartbreaking opening, a decent action scene, usual anime high school routine and humor, cheap jokes, a wait WTF moment, foreshadowing up to butt, and a cliche ending. Maybe that's why it felt good. Just enough so that we don't ask questions. Roosterteeth, you clever bastards.
So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and support me on Patreon. I'm Ricardo, the Cynical Critic. With me, no movie's sacred, no video's safe, but all deserve a chance. And RWBY Volume 3 has proven that it deserves that chance. So I'll give it to it. I'll catch you guys next time. Toodles!
For it.
That's a lot of fish.